Hello and welcome. We've got another game for you, another exciting one. New Brunswick just finished taking on Ontario, and now we continue with the Eastern Provinces. Newfoundland taking on BC. BC having won the toss and choosing to have a bat first. Just saw a very high-scoring affair on this ground the game before. Ontario piling it on against New Brunswick and made a big difference in their required correction in their net run rate as well. They've moved up to second place on that table. Ontario scored 252 runs for just 2 wickets in their 20 overs. New Brunswick never really had a chance. 62 for 8 in their 20 is what they managed. 2 games going on at the moment. Quebec taking on Manitoba on the ground behind us. Quebec have moved to 82 for 2 in their 12 overs. Manitoba had a shocker of a game this morning against PEI. Just couldn't quite take themselves over the line. Consistent loss of wickets and no stability in any batting partnerships cost them the game. One they would have hoped that he could have won, but it wasn't meant to be this morning. Now they have to face Quebec and try and come out on top. Just take a look at the points table real quick. BC currently in second place in Group B. And Newfoundland, they're second from the bottom. So BC has to win this game to try and get at the top. Alberta sitting nicely with 2 wins in their 3 games. The first one, of course, being a washout from day number 1, having had a lot of rain in the city of Brampton. It's been a wet one this summer in Ontario. Broken a lot of rainfall records in this one season. But we're ready for the action. Again, BC winning the toss, and they choose to have a bat. Of course, these games part of the 2024 National Men's T20 Championship. 10 provinces represented from across the country. Got a lot of games every day. Tournament started on Monday. Unfortunately, lost the whole day to the rain from the day before, wet conditions. But the games go down to Friday when we have our finals. And then next week, starting Monday, we have the Women's T20 National Championship. If you're looking for action, here we go. Ball 1. Furkan Mehdi. He starts with the ball. And Ajay Singh, he's off the mark with a single. Speaking of action, if you're looking for any more action, the T20 series is about to begin in the Netherlands. Canada, the Netherlands, and the USA part of that series. And then a little later, mid-September, Canada takes on Oman and Nepal, and that's on home soil here, right here in Ontario. That'll be ODI series followed by a T20I series. He's trying to go up and over, and he does well. He picks up a boundary early on. No, just pulled in. That's a good job in the deep by the fielder. 2 runs nonetheless. Both batters now off the field, or off the mark, I should say, for BC. played off the pads. And they should be another 2 runs here for BC. Just straying a little too straight. Medi on that occasion, picking that leg stump line, makes it very easy to play off the pads. And the wind going across as well. Going from the off side to the leg side, the direction of the wind at the moment. And that's a wide. It's a big one as well. Well, cutaway just past the fielder at backward point. And it's gone all the way. 4 runs. Good looking shot. Good boundary. Gurnik Johal. He had a decent run with the bat this morning. Good aggressive running again. Good awareness from the 2 batters out in the middle. They've got an understanding when they run. BC playing Saskatchewan this morning, and both openers had a decent start for their side. They were chasing though this morning. Now this afternoon, they're the ones to set the target. Down that leg stump line onto the pads. At the end of the first over, 11 for no loss. Pakrana comes into the attack. Second over in. BC, they looked good. They've looked good so far. Solid start as well. Good confidence coming in off the wind from earlier on. That wind coming off of Saskatchewan. And as I say that, call it commentator's curse if you will, that's going to be the first wicket. Deepak Rana comes into the attack and he picks up an important wicket here. Gurnik Johal Jr., he's not able to get that push on from here on. He's out for just 9 off his 6 deliveries today. Well, back by popular demand, Gary Growall is joining us in the comm box again.
Hey, nice to be back after a very eventful meeting with my team.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's gloat about it.
No, we kept it simple, one game at a time.
Just using his feet, trying to shimmy down the wicket ever so slightly. Mansab Gill, he joins Ajay Singh out in the middle. He brought up a half century to his name today. Mansab Gill, that against Saskatchewan earlier on. He's a handy bat for BC. Recently featured in Canada's GT20 as well. So how do you keep a team motivated? They've just had a massive win. How do you make sure that they still stay level-headed heading into the next round of games?
I'm a firm believer in not celebrating your successes too much and not getting too overwhelmed by defeats. And when we had a bad game yesterday, we didn't beat people down. We just talked about factual things and tried to adjust things that went wrong. And then we won today. We didn't start giving applause to everyone. We kept it short and sweet, and we said, we'll see you in the morning. It's a big game tomorrow. Directed.
This is good running. Good aggressive running from the batters. Good understanding as well. Try and challenge the fielders. That's the end of the second over. 13 for 1.
I was in Newfoundland last week on a vacation. Coincidence?
Well, tell us more about New Brunswick or Newfoundland. Sorry.
Yeah, a great province. Such a great province. Of being on a different planet. You wouldn't think Canada has landscapes like that. We flew in to St. John, spent a week there, traveled up and down the east coast of Newfoundland. Really good food. Really historic place. The Irish first got there, so a lot of good history to absorb.
Well, that's played well, and it should go the whole way. And it does. 6 runs played off the pads into the leg side. No fielder in the deep. And even if there was one, he'd have been a spectator.
Pickup shot against the wind. That's some power there. That went a long way considering how heavy the wind is heading towards the ball. Very impressive hit.
That's well played. Pushed down the ground this time. BC's been very smart with their batting. We saw a little bit of that this morning against Saskatchewan. They hit the bad balls. They rotate the strike well. They know how to hit the gaps as well. Good, steady, calm, and collected batting.
Yeah, from what I've seen over the last 2 days, very positive cricket, percentage shots, percentage options. Really smart cricket being played.
Oh, and that's just over the fielder at cover. We talked about cool and collected, and that was nearly a second wicket for BC.
Yeah, full and wide, opened the bat face, got just enough on it to go over the point fielder. A more athletic fielder might make that half chance into a catch. But it was still a good effort by the fielder at point.
Well, you were talking to us about some of the beautiful landscapes out east. I mean, how beautiful are the landscapes all across the country? We've got, starting from BC, moving all the way down to East Coast. There's just It's a wonderful country.
It's the Great White North. Um, it's funny because I used to travel abroad, and I was one of those people who wanted his passport stamped as much as you can. And then somewhere down the line, my thinking changed, and I was like, "There's so much to see in Canada." So, and I have now been to every province and the Northwest Territories. So
And the Northwest Territories. What month was that in?
that was in December 2017.
And that too in December. How
Yeah.
was that?
My eyelids froze. I have a photo I can show you.
I was just going to ask.
Yeah, I went there just to see the Northern Lights because I heard you want to see Northern Lights, go to Northwest and in January, December, that time of the year. You'll see them every day, and the sky is green basically.
BC 24 for 1 at the end of 3.
There's that's a very talented fast bowler for Kanmedi, I think, bowling from the north end right now. He finished his over.
Correct.
Really good approach, good action, good intent, running in hard. Really good talent. Someone, in Newfoundland should be spending time with him, and they should really harness him.
Well, it's been a decent start all around. BC have stabilized. They've lost just the 1 wicket so far, but credit to Newfoundland, as they've been decent with the ball. The fielding, however, has let them down on a couple of occasions now. A couple of misfields allowed for singles to turn into doubles. A half chance of a catch earlier in the previous over. They're going to have to make sure they pick up every half chance that they possibly can, especially because BC is a strong side. You can't allow for those little moments to get away from you. Deepak Rana. He's into the attack for his second over now. He's picked up that 1 wicket. It is an important one. Gurnik Johal. He scored a lot of runs in that first game. It's an important wicket to pick up, as that's played into the leg side. They should pick up 2 easy here. Good running, good awareness, and good intent.
Interesting field set there. He's got a sweeper out, but he's been constantly attacking the pad. I'd like to see that sweeper cover fielder come in and square leg drop back if he's going to bowl those channels. Oh well, never mind. He's gone the other way now.
I think the wind might have a factor in that as well. Difficult controlling your line, and the ball just swinging into that wind. It's pretty heavy. It's getting stronger as the evening goes by.
Yeah, even more reasons to not have that super fielder out there. The ball's going to keep coming in. You're better off having your square leg back and then let the ball shape into the paths.
That's a good looking stroke. Up, over, down the ground. And he just held that pose as well. Didn't overhit it. He timed it to absolute perfection.
A bit too full. A typical opener shot, top hand, through the line. And, flat, not too big. Classic.
1 delivery to come in this over. Deepak Rana. He'd bowl tidy up to that moment right there where Mansam Gill capitalized on a foolish delivery. This time moving down the ground, taking 1 step into it, getting to the pitch of the ball. They end off with a single. BC 35 for 1 at the end of 4.
Yeah, it's just not the wind for a 6-3 field. It's just going to keep coming in. Another one that drifted into the paths and the batter glanced it off his hips. I'd like to see another fielder on the leg side, especially bowling from the south end.
We've seen a few interesting field position or field placements, I should say. Saskatchewan earlier played BC very interesting field setting. Almost no one on the leg side, no one outside the circle, straight down the ground. And the batters, BC was smart about it. They went straight down the ground and made sure that they got it over the infield. Mid on, mid off had no chance, and they placed it beautifully. It happened multiple times before they even thought about dropping one of those fielders out in the deep. So again, not sure if it's a lack of cricket or the lack of awareness.
Yeah, it's also, again, comes down to playing on, like we were talking in the last game, playing on AstroTurfs. A lot of cricket on the AstroTurf, slower out fields. You go a bit unorthodox and you set fields like that. But
Well, that's a big shout. Umpire seems uninterested in the way, again, we're not at the best of angles here, but just looking at the way Mansab Gill played that shot, you'd have to say was going down leg.
yeah, I think so. I think going down, like, he stayed in his crease and tried to whip it off his hips. But very impressive, this young man, Furkan. Steaming in. Nice rhythmic run up. Wiry, built like a fast bowler.
Well, it's not come off the middle of the bat, but it should run away to the boundary. Looks like it's just going to get pulled in. Didn't find the middle of the bat. And you could see there Mansab Gill just checking the top part of his bat.
Yeah, went across the line there. I think he's backing himself in the power play, even though it's against the wind, actually into the wind. But just he's backing his skills there.
He's been impressive, Mansab Gill. Played a lot of cricket in India as well. Picked up a half century this morning.
Yeah, looks very handy. Very good hands through the line. Furkan's bowling good channels. Long ons drop back. Sweepers come in to the other batsmen. It's got full into the pads, picked off to mid wicket for another double. Long on back, bowling full. I think he's trying to bowl to a plan. He's trying to get him to hit into the wind, but just a little too full there.
Yeah, too full and a little too straight as well. Just that leg stump line has been easy to pick off the pads.
Yeah, it's a game of small margins. You just drift a little bit to openers. There's just no forgiveness. Poor fielding at mid-off.
Well, as you mentioned, it's small margins, especially difficult when you're bowling to good batters, where they can capitalize off that small margin of error.
Yeah. Good batting's about being able to hit good balls, because the higher levels you go at, the number of bad balls you'll get will just keep dropping.
You can see him just taking that one step down the wicket, trying to get the ball to be a bit fuller.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
bowling just back of the length there. Furkan Mehdi. That's the end of the fifth over. BC 40 for 1.
Furkan's gone for a bit, but I don't think those figures do justice to him. I think he's bowled well. Just a little bit of inexperience costing him there, drifting into the pads, not having bowled to batters of Mansab's caliber. But he'll learn. He'll improve. I think he'll improve even tomorrow, just seeing how much he's improved over his spell of 3 overs.
Well, Gary, I don't know if it's possible to get frozen shoulder by sitting around all day holding a microphone, but I think I might be getting one. It's cold, freezing, the shoulder's getting frozen.
I'll text you when I get home and see how I feel.
We got to be about 3 games into it.
Fair enough. It's really, you know what, we're sitting on a hill and facing the side winds coming from. So listeners and viewers, we're trying our best here. It's not easy up here in the comms box, I'll tell you that.
Well, comms box is say it's a bit misleading. We're on the Everest. We're on the tip of this hill. We're on Everest. In the middle of two hills, or in the middle of two grounds, I should say, where the breeze kicks up as it gets to us. In a tent with no walls. Again, using his feet, coming down the track. This time he goes over the offside. Mid-off, just signaling 6 runs there to the umpire. It was a good-looking shot. This time Ajayveer Singh joins the attack.
Change in bowling. The bowler's gone full straight off the bat. And Ajayveer, again, taking a small chip, making sure it's right in the arc. And he's just gone with the top hand through the line, over mid-off.
And partnership now 35 off 24.
They're flying here.
Using those feet again. And it's straighter this time. There's no fielder that straight. And he picks up another 4. This is excellent batting from BC. They've taken the aggression. They've controlled it as well. And the bowler's just not allowed to settle.
Again, taking on the new bowler first 2 balls, you know, that seems like a BC strategy. Take the new bowler on right away. But having said that, that field could be set better. If you're going to bowl so full, you do not need a mid-wicket. I'll take my chances with no mid-wicket and put a long off out if you're going to bowl so full. That's a big call to get a slow medium bowler on last over of the power play. That's the over that batters really try to cash in and really push their run rate up.
Shorter, and it's pulled away. It's pulled fine as well. There is a fielder giving chase, and they'll pick up 2 runs. This is turning out to be an expensive over. There's still 3 legal deliveries to come. $12 runs coming off of it. Tarnveer just came into the attack. He's under some pressure. Should be a wide, and it is. Straying down the leg side.
Good hands by the keeper there. Good footwork, moved down the leg, and collected it.
Punch down the ground and pick up another single. This is good batting. Smart batting. Now, have you tried your hands at wicket keeping?
I have.
And? You're a pacer?
I started off cricket as a wicketkeeper batsman.
Did you really?
I used to open the batting and keep wickets. And now I bat number 10.
And you bowl pace.
And I bowl pace.
Well, you started opening the batting, now you open the bowling, so it's all right. You're opening something.
I don't even open the bowling anymore, to be honest. I'm bowling change nowadays.
Well, it's the end of 6 overs. BC 55 for 1.
Good power play there. 55 going at about 9 and over.
Yeah, 9 and over. Projected score with this sort of run rate, 183. Of course, you'd expect some ebbs and flows as we get through the innings. Still early days, just 6 overs in. But if these guys can keep their wickets in hand, BC, they've got a solid lineup as well.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking at 200 here. Both the batters are set, Ajayveer and Mansab.
Such a big difference when you've got wickets that have true bounce, wickets that you can trust, ball coming on. We're seeing high-scoring games as this tournament.
It's refreshing.
Not always the case. We haven't seen this last year. King City games.
Yeah, King City's got its own beauty. It's a different brand of cricket to succeed at King City. But this is more mainstream, I guess. Good bounce, good wickets. I mean, the quality of wickets in Brampton has just been exceptional the last 2 years.
Well, as this game continues, there's also another game currently being played. The ground just behind us. 2-ground facility here at Batsman Park. Quebec put into bat, or they opted to bat. They won the toss, 120 for 6 in their 18 overs. They've still got 2 overs to come. taking on Manitoba.
Manitoba lost in the morning to PEI. That's been the upset of the tournament so far.
Oh, I thought it was Ontario, Quebec.
Upset?
Was
They
that
beat
not
us
an
last year
upset?
too. Right in line.
Oh, it was an upset last year.
Hey, it's upset once.
This is upset
it's a
too.
trend when it happens the second time.
Yeah, that was a shocker for Manitoba this morning, actually. Just showed how poor the batting was. They didn't understand the simple task of waiting it out, that patience. All they needed was singles at one point.
Yeah.
Really complicated it.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of wickets, and in the end, PEI came out on top.
You know what?
That's a big one. It's pulled into the leg side. It does fall just short of the fielder. They pick up 2 runs here.
Poor running. Poor running. That should have been 3. The long on fielder had a long way to go, a lot of ground to cover, and then to balance himself and throw the ball, and then the throw was very wayward too. They should have walked the third there. And, you know, these are the things, these are the habits that you develop at this level of cricket that take you a lot deeper. You know, case in point, Nicholas Curtin, you know, our skipper, the way he runs between the wickets is exceptional, and he scores so many runs, and his strike rate is so high without scoring boundaries.
Yeah, and you don't quite realize how quickly those runs add up as well.
Yeah.
Well, this is sloppy, straight to the fielder, hits the knee, bounces off. Good awareness from the batters, though. They pick up a single to end the 7th over, BC 60 for 1. You see the long barrier still coming out.
Yeah. In the 30. Ball's not been hit hard. You know, there's no need to get down on your knees right there. Newfoundland's taken the pace off the ball completely, and they're not even trying to turn the ball. They're just trying to hit a spot here and see what happens. But I tell you what, these 2 guys in the middle, they're very skilled, and they will put them to the sword. I think they have to be very careful how long they prolong this line of attack here.
It's a big pet peeve of mine, to be honest, when you have your spearhead pace bowlers taking the pace off consistently. They're there to bowl fast.
Yeah.
That's played well. Right in between the 2 fielders. I mean, I can understand variations, but to be consistently taking the ball, or the pace off the ball, just to try and land it in a spot,
Yeah.
you're really not doing yourself justice
Yeah,
there.
the good old military medium of keep her up. Let's just hit a spot. These bats are railway sleepers these days. You're not going to get away with it for long.
I mean, just the edges on them.
I see those. I get those Instagram notifications where they can put a loony on the edge of the bat now, and it it swallows it. Push too long off, easy single. It'll be interesting to see how BC approaches the game now. Power play is done, pace off the ball, 5 fielders on the boundary. Do they still keep pressing the accelerator, or do they take their foot off it and try to go 6-7 and over? It looks like they're trying to go 6-7 and over and just take the game a little deeper.
Well, that's a wide. And earlier when they played Saskatchewan, for them it was a lot of singles and doubles. Good running. Just hit the gaps. A lot of fielders in the deep. You have all the space in the world. Just attack by getting those quick singles, quick doubles. But they were great to hit the loose delivery way as well, and they capitalized on that.
Yeah, and this is a bigger ground than the south ground. The outfield's a little more vast here, so you'll get even more runs for your hustle.
Well, he tries to go down the ground in the leg side, and he picks up 4 runs. It's well placed. long on giving chase, but had no chance to try and reach that.
Yeah, picked the gap to perfection there. Right between mid wicket and long on. Got a lot of it. Bowler was just a little full, and the batters capitalized on that.
We were talking the earlier game about how much of a batter's game cricket is. You know, the bat sizes have changed, and yet nothing's really changed for the bowler. The ball has not been allowed to swing anymore. You know, it hasn't been allowed to turn anymore.
I'll tell you what. I've had this argument with people. Allow ball tempering. Just allow it.
You might not be.
Why is it such a stigma to be able to scratch the ball? I feel like it'll just even the playing field so much. There's two balls. Like, so how much is in a 50-over game? How much can a 25-over ball really reverse?
Well, 70 for 1 at the end of 8. We're just going to get back to that conversation about ball tampering. So what are you suggesting here? Are they allowed to carry some sandpaper onto the ground?
Well, I think you can have an approved list of objects that can be used to tamper the ball.
You know, your cricket kit is just going to have a whole arsenal of other things then.
Well, we can always. I was already thinking a zipper. Is a zipper allowed? Like.
So then the pants go back to having zippers. Built in.
Some already do. But yeah, I think it's just too harsh. Like, you know, you can't even put saliva on the ball anymore.
Well, I mean, yeah, COVID had something to do with that one.
Yeah, but okay. Well, then return back to it after. We just hung on to it. We're like, oh, you know what? The run rate's gone really high since we've stopped that. That's nice. Let's keep doing that. I don't think sandpaper should be allowed. I think you should be allowed to scratch the ball with your nail. You should be allowed to use your saliva. I think that's fine.
I once played against a player when I was in Australia, and she took putting saliva on the ball at a whole other level. Normally, you know, take some on your fingers, you put it on. Well, she just licked the ball.
I thought it would be something like that.
And I couldn't believe my eyes the first time I saw it. And she's like, "Well, you know, what's the difference?" And I'm like, "Well, your tongue is on there right now."
I have played with guys who've made one side of the ball look like a soap. They've put so much saliva on it. But I'll tell you what, the ball reverses a lot.
When you're in the middle of the game, you don't really think about it, but it is a bit gross.
But that's not the reason they changed it.
No, it's not. I get it. Well, you know what? This partnership has been incredible. 63 off 43. Ajay Veer, 36 off 21. Mansab, 24 off 24. But they are now setting that platform where they're going to allow either themselves or the batters to come in to be able to get a big one here. And Newfoundland, they just need to find some breakthrough here because these two are settling in all too well. They're not allowed to tamper with the ball, so that's not an option.
I don't think it would matter at that pace.
You know, I specifically recall you telling me I was harsh. You see, on the other side...
I said you were harsh. I didn't say there's anything wrong with it.
It's pretty easy, isn't it, once you're on the other side, though?
I love it. I love coaching for that. I can give my players all kinds of stick and I'm fine.
Pushed into the offside. It'll just be the single again. This is when they can capitalize on the runs just by quick running in between the wicket. That is going to be the end of the 9th over, though. 77 for 1. With so many fielders out in the deep, there are a lot of gaps. We haven't seen a boundary in a while, but they really don't need it. They're still going at almost 8.5 runs and over.
Yeah, they're running hard. There's an extra here or there. They're running their twos, so they're keeping that run rate up there without taking any risks. I think they're introducing spin now from the south end. The batter's already checking the wind. Here we go. Yeah, that's a big call, bringing a spinner on with wind going from off to leg, two right-handers batting. outside boundary, mid wicket, long on, and cow, long off, and sweeper on the offside on the boundary. Good pace there, good leg spin.
Yeah, very quick. No flight at all on that occasion.
This will be an interesting spell here. I just get the feeling that the batter's not going to hang around here with this win. It's just too high a percentage to have a go.
Well, down the
And
track.
as I said,
Looking to go straight down the ground just to get the distance, and probably for good luck there as well. There are plenty of fielders down the ground.
yeah, I think he'll have a go again here. He's bowling well though. He's bowling a good pace. I think he's getting some turn as well. That was the leading edge there. I think the batter was hitting long on and got a little lucky there and went too long off. But this will be interesting. I'm really excited about this spell now. Very quick through the air one more time. Push to long on.
Good conversation there between the two batters as well. Ajay Singh noticed Mansab Gill just getting a little bit impatient, just went and quickly had a chat with him.
Slows it down, and he's swept it behind square for 4 runs.
Well, that's a good looking shot. It picked up beautifully. It was picked up, swept right in front. Getting that big reach as well, forward. Exactly how you want to try and play a sweep shot. Make sure you get as far forward as possible.
Yeah.
He played it nice and fine as well.
Former under 19 player. I think he saw the pace slow down, and right away he went to the sweep. Slow again, short this time, and he's gone back and pulled it. Didn't get all of it, but he'll come back for 2 there. Interesting, because he started off firing those leggies in, and then he's just slowed it down. Maybe he feels a bit more confident giving it some air.
It's a big pet peeve of mine too when I see spinners just darting it in. It doesn't allow for that. As soon as you try and get it over the batter's eye line and allow for that dip, it makes it a little bit more difficult for the batter. When you're just firing it in, there really isn't much of that happening.
Yeah,
And the more the pace on the ball, the easier it becomes for the batter to hit. We're at the halfway point though. BC 86 for 1 at the end of 10. Should be a quick drinks break as well. We're going to be back with you momentarily as we take a drinks break as well. Well, we're back into the action. A quick drinks break, halfway point here. BC 86 for 1. They're going at a very good rate here. 8.6 runs and over. Projected score gets them to 172. And the good thing for them is Ajay Singh. He's looked good. 46 of 28 deliveries. He's just 4 runs away from that half century. The morning game, Mansab Gill brought up his half century. So a lot of positives for BC in this tournament so far. The game behind us, Quebec taking on Manitoba. They managed 134 off 8, or 134 for 8 off their 20. Quebec. So it should be a tight game.
That's a
I have
well
to feel
poised
that it's
game.
going to be an exciting game.
Spin from the other end as well.
Well, this might not be the worst of things as well. It just takes the pace off the ball as well. It makes the batters have to work for that additional pace.
Yeah, and this is the end to bowl spin from. Wind going across. Just got to bowl middle and leg line and let them challenge that wind. It's not easy. It's very heavy. Well bowled.
This is good running. Good call from the non-strikers. Early, he took off. He trusted himself and he trusted his batting partner that he's going to listen as well. And then another misfield allows for the second run.
Yeah, that throw was going nowhere. That was no one backing up. And the third man fielder threw it well wide off the bowler. Fires it in. You know, Manali, we were talking about spinners not giving the ball air these days, right? And that's another product of T20 cricket, right? Like you just want to push the ball through because the bats are huge. Miss hits are flying. You know, you top edge the ball, it still goes for 6.
Well, this one was a little short and it's a drop catch. It should have been taken in the deep. It's now allowed for 2 runs.
That should have been swallowed.
But more importantly, it's a big wicket that they've just lost out on. That was Mansab Gill. You can see himself just trying to gather his concentration again. He wanted to go over the fielder there. The fielder, again, he went finer as well. Just didn't get the distance.
Yeah,
that wind not
that
helping
wind
him.
is not going to help him. That's a good challenge for the batters to go to a slow spinner bowling into the pads to try to slog sweep him or pull him off the back foot on that boundary. It's a big boundary too. I think about 80 meters, that boundary.
A big gap there. All the fielders on the leg side are on the boundary. No one in the infield.
Very good running there by these two. Again, playing smart, just like you said, playing smart percentage cricket, hitting the holes, running hard. This is a bigger ground. This is a lot bigger ground, and tools are available all throughout.
End of the 11, 93 for 1.
Good platform set by these two boys here, Mansab and Ajay. They're going at a good rate here, and if they carry on like this, I think they can really make a push for 180, 190. I think that's a really good total right now. I'm interested to see how this day plays on. It's a late game. CCO president thinks it's warm while we're sitting facing the wind.
CCO president is the cold has gotten to the brain now. That's fine.
We need to do a cup check here.
No, we should ask President to stop the air conditioning. Lucky, the people are not singing here.
Well, it's played into the leg side. Again, the fielder on the boundary. This should be an easy 2.
Yeah, more tools on offer here. Tools all around. BC's running hard, which is really good to see because in a game like this, when you're set, you just get a bit lazy and you want to hang on to those ones and just keep strike and really have a go. Another one pushed into the gap again. They're going to come back. No was the call there. It's a good call too. I think the fielder really charged in. So 50
up for Ajay Singh of just 31 deliveries, and it has been a good innings. 3 4s, 2 6s. And he's looked solid out there, going at a strike rate of 161.
A very composed knock, very good innings. Playing
Well,
high percentage shots there.
Well supported by Munsub Gill as well. And that's pulled into the leg side, and it is in the gap. It should be 4 runs. It is. They pick up another boundary. BC taking the attack to Newfoundland right now, and with that boundary comes up the 100. BC have brought up the 100 in style in just 11.3 overs.
See, this is what it happens, right? Like you take a few doubles and then a bad ball comes and now an 8-run over becomes a 12-run over just like that because you kept pushing those twos the entire over.
Yeah, the doubles are frustrating for bowler. Picked off the pads again. And a quick single. Really frustrating for the bowler because you want to try and be as economical as you can, but those doubles are bleeding. It's a slow bleed.
Yeah, exactly. I don't understand. They've taken the leggy off. Wajid, I think his name was. I didn't think he bowled too badly, and they could have given him another over. It just felt like there was a wicket coming if he bowled another over. The batters were just too excited to see a spinner coming on against the wind.
I'm surprised they went with Turnbury, to be honest. This is his 3rd over. He's gone for quite a few, 32 runs so far.
Just a bit toothless here, bowling, slow, medium, full, 5 guys out. Not going to do much damage control. They can still go 9, 10 and over to him. They just need to try to get a wicket here. I'd either bring Wajid back or I'd go back to Furkan or somebody who can do something here.
But the end of 12, BC 103 for 1. It's all a bit too defensive from Newfoundland out there to try and do something different here. They've got to be a little bit more attacking.
Yeah, I think this is just going through the motions a little bit here, just sticking to plan A when plan A should have been scrapped about 5 overs ago.
Katan Shah continues with his 2nd over. A tidy first one, going for just the 7 runs. But unfortunate for Newfoundland, they just haven't been able to pick up wickets. This partnership now nearing 100, 92 of 64 at the moment. And that's where Saskatchewan did a little bit better than Newfoundland. They picked up wickets at crucial times.
Cutton back into the attack from the north end. Opens the face, runs it down to 3rd man, another easy single. It's just all too easy right now. It's just all too easy for these two. Ajivir going at 160, Munsub at 111. 8.5 current run rate. They're looking at 170, 180 right now. More than that actually with 8 overs to go, maybe even 190.
Well, trying to go over that inner circle, there was a fielder. Point just giving it chase right now, and they pick up 2 runs. Didn't quite find the middle of the bat, but he still picks up 2 runs.
Yeah, I think he forced it a little bit. Ball was a bit too straight to go that square, but he's just jammed his bat down and tried to get enough on it to go over the 30-yard circle. Reverse comes out. They'll take an easy double there. Didn't get all of it, but again, good percentage shot to that ball, that line. Nobody on the offside boundary. Just get enough bat on it, and it's a 4. I like that option. That's another one of those options that you would be crucified for by an old-timer as a coach. And I'll tell you that there's a lot of coaches in our junior circuit who would crucify a youngster for trying that shot.
Well, sent back. Made a good call. That would have been a suicidal run. You know what, I was just going to say that. I've still seen coaches not okay with teaching the youngsters the reverse sweep or the paddle, the scoop. They're still not okay with it. Well, they're T20 shots, regular shots.
Yeah.
That's pulled into the leg side. should just be the single. Went quick to the fielder. Could have actually picked up a single on or a second on that throw in.
Yeah, the double was on there.
Yeah, and again, this is where that old school mentality just has to give way now, you know? We have
Yeah.
specialist power hitting coaches now. And there's a reason why they exist, because the game has changed. Calls for catch it! Oh, and this is just a little sloppy from the fielder. Point trying to go around. He made the distance. He just didn't get his hands in the right place. He could have put in a little bit of effort. Tried to get lower, get the dive in potentially.
This
is another effort
not
that
a point fielder. You know why I say that, because every ball has bounced and had spin on it, and it's gone behind square, and every time he's had to change direction, he's following the ball bounces, goes behind him, and then he turns direction. A good point fielder would already be aiming for that to happen, and he would already be running a little bit behind and try to adjust for that change in direction.
At the end of 13, BC 111 for 1. That's picked well. There is a fielder though. Goes straight to the fielder. One bounce, and they pick up a single.
This is the end to attack, with the heavy wind going from third man to long on. Into the gap. Mid wicket comes across, but he can't stop the double. Vast areas to run into. Got away with that one. The bowler bowled a half tracker, and the batter just didn't get enough on it. Had he middled that one, could have been 6.
Played into the leg side again. The fielder's so far deep. They pick up 2 runs. Well, just to put that debate about how warm it actually is, the mercury says 20 degrees. The wind has an effect on that. But in another hour, it dips to 19. And by the time this game gets close to finishing, it's down to 17 degrees.
That's why I'm leaving at 6:30.
Down the ground. It should fall safe when it does. Again, that fielder hesitant to get to the ball faster, hesitant to get the dive forward. Again, just not judging them well enough.
Yeah, the anticipation has been a little poor. That's a hot spot right now. Wind going across, spinner bowling, long on mid wicket, cow corner. You just gotta be switched on. It's coming to you. Every ball is going to be coming that way.
Well, that's a quick one,
Bowlers will
and it's a wide. Calls for catch it. There was definitely no way that was going to a fielder. And again, there's so many gaps in the field. I think when Newfoundland look back at this game, they're going to have to question why there were so many singles and doubles on offer.
Yeah, there's also been some indiscipline. Like, they haven't bowled to their field. If you're going to have a cow and a mid wicket and leave all of square leg and behind square empty, you have to be full and wide. But they've been just stringing into the pads the entire game. The batters have been able to swivel, hit those gaps, run twos. I personally feel the BC batters have lost their timing a little bit here, because that over they could have had 3 boundaries, but instead they took 3 doubles, and it's just a case of trying to hit the ball too hard. Maybe just try to time it, let the wind do the job for you. I think they've missed out on a few opportunities to score runs here, especially that last over.
Well, 14 gone, 123 for 1, going at almost 9 runs and over, and at this rate, they get to about 176. You'd think that Newfoundland will still have a very hard time chasing this total. even as it stands, because BC has some decent bowlers.
Yeah, but again, just like the earlier game, I don't think it should be about winning these games for the eastern provinces. I think it should be more about putting up a good fight and taking a lot of learning experiences.
Well, you
home
tell
with them.
PEI that, who just beat Manitoba earlier on.
For sure. But what I mean is you still have to stay in the game. If the game is drifting away from you and you're going at 120, you're going at the other team's going at 9 and over. You can't let your shoulders drop and say, "Oh well, we've lost it. Let's pack it in and get through the day and go home." You just there's a lot to take from a game. And if you have that attitude, the reverse has come out again. Again, he didn't get enough on it. But the bat flow on those reverse sweeps is really good to watch. You can tell that's a shot he plays.
Again, getting it a little too fine because there's a big gap. If he just gets a little bit more square, there's a big gap.
And he's practicing just that right there. Just try to get more, did a drill there and try to get it more square.
Manitoba, on the other hand, against Quebec. Well, he tries to go for it again. Half a shout. And they pick up a single. Quebec taking on Manitoba. Manitoba now 13 for no loss. They need 122 from 102 balls. And if you're Quebec, you're going to need to try and pick up some wickets, and you're going to need to do that quick. Not enough runs on the board to begin with. Well, Mansab Gill also brings up his half century. He's moved on to 51 off 42. It's been a quiet one. I don't think he knows he's reached that half century. We haven't really seen his team celebrate it either.
I don't think the team knows it either. They're all over the place.
The one thing this ground needs is a scoreboard. We don't have one on either of these grounds, and it's really hard as a team to try and keep track of where you are. Well, it's been reversed, and that is out. He tried one too many times, and the luck has run out for Mansab Gill. There was half an appeal on the ball before, and this time the finger does go up. He gets 51 off 43 deliveries. He'll be happy with that effort, though. He's anchored the innings. They had a decent partnership as well, and he has picked up a half century in 2 back-to-back games.
It's a good day in the office for Mansab. But tell you what, he did not look comfortable on that reverse sweep compared to Ajay Veer. You can just tell that Ajay Veer plays that shot often. He practices that shot. Mansab just looked a little awkward playing that shot. Head was up, weight was back, whereas when Ajay Veer is playing it, he's right on top of the ball. And that's why even when he's not middling it, he's getting enough on that ball to get a double.
Katan Shah, he was in his third over, 1 delivery to come still, but he's finally picked up another wicket. BC have just lost the 2 wickets for 126 runs, and they've been far and few, the wickets. Really hard day for Newfoundland and their bowlers. But that wicket's going to help. It's going to help try and shift the momentum a little bit towards the Newfoundland side. But to put the icing on the cake, if they can pick up Ajay Veer's wicket, then you've got 2 new bats out in the middle, and it might be a completely different game.
Yeah, and that projected score will start dropping right away.
Bharat Arora, the new bat out in the middle. That's the first one go by, and that's the end of the 15th, 126 for 2. Well, BC have looked strong. Newfoundland, they've struggled. Fielding, not necessarily been as bad as I should say, but the fielding just hasn't been as attacking as they should have kept it. Ajivir Singh continues his run fest. Now moves to 61. We've seen some good totals here. We've seen some good scores, individual scores, especially the Ontario game that just finished. We saw the first century of this edition of the National Championship. We've seen a few half centuries now. We've not seen a hat trick yet. Super over, checked off yesterday. And that to the eastern provinces.
Yeah, some really good knocks to see. It's refreshing to see high scoring National T20 games this year. Again, these wickets have been exceptional. Considering all the rain we had last week, these wickets have responded really well.
Good running this. Again, that defensive field not helping Newfoundland. Fielder out on the boundary. He's got to come a long, long way. There's no one on the leg side in the inner field. Or the inner circle.
Yeah, and it's even as simple as, just having guys 10 steps in, which they've done now. Just challenge the batsman for their double.
Well, coming down the track, using his feet, and he's just found the hands of the fielder. This is a poor shot. He's picked out the fielder, barely had to move a step. And it's the big one as well. It's Ajivir Singh. Well, we called it. What would happen if we got two new batters? And we're going to find out.
We are going to find out. That was a really good knock by Ajivir. Played all across the ground, 360 batsman. And that was, again, a good high percentage shot. He just didn't get enough on it, but a really good, impressive knock by young Ajivir.
Ajivir goes for 63 off 43 balls. He's been instrumental in BC's total so far. But Wajid Ali, he picks up a wicket in his second over. BC 130 for 3.
Oh, that projected total might start dropping now. But they have some power hitters towards the end of their batting. It'll be interesting to see. And guess who takes the wicket?
Well, I know you've been waiting on the leggy.
Yeah, I just had a feeling. Just the pace he's bowling at. If I had a feeling, if he gets it right, there would be something on offer, and it's happened. The wind is just too enticing for batters to have a go at a leggy against the spin.
Yudhvir Singh, the new batter, out in the middle. Well, correct me if I'm wrong. You speak Punjabi, correct?
Yep.
Yudhvir, as in the winner of wars?
Yep. Exactly. Yudhvir, as you'll say without an accent.
Buttar.
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 Buttar. Yeah, Buttar. Buttar is actually the village his family comes from.
Really? Very interesting.
Pushed into the leg side. Again, the fielder's too deep and they're going to just come for the double. The bowler had to go get the ball.
That's a very heavy name, isn't it? Yudhvir. I mean, the winner of wars. It's a very heavy name.
Yudhvir is a winner of wars, or is it... Well, Veer doesn't really mean winner, does it?
Brave.
Brave. So Yudhvir is someone who's brave in a battle, I'd say. Bit poetic, I think.
I mean, his parents.
It's a very common Punjabi name, to be honest.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's the first one I've seen so far. Well played. Down the ground. Safe shot as well.
Fired that one in. It's not a bad option if you use it well. I think that's a really good over. I think it was... I'm glad the captains brought him back on because he didn't bowl bad in that first over. He went for 9, but sometimes with a leggy, you just gotta give them a go. You have to accept that he'll go for 9, 10 and over. But then they get wickets, they get set guys out like he just did to Ajivir.
Was 16 gone, BC 134 for 3. Well-
interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see how this game goes on because. Okay, as we talk, Manitoba is 25 for 2, chasing 130, and the main man, Yashwant Reddy's just walked into bat. So this will be an interesting finish on the other ground here.
I think so, especially having lost 2 wickets, Manitoba. I think Quebec might have the upper hand if they pick up another 2 wickets.
With the wind picking up and it getting colder, it's going to be a very interesting finish to the day in both grounds. I've played a lot of cricket on these fields and it gets cold very fast in this part of Brampton.
I can't wait. I can't wait for you to tell me more about how cold it gets.
Yeah, this ground and the position we're sitting at is notorious to be very cold.
Well, it looks like we know how to pick where to sit. As that's a swing and a miss. Now this is exactly what 2 new batters does. It gives the upper hand to the bowlers as the batters try and find the middle of the bat. They try and settle down a bit. Fortunately for them, they don't have a lot of time to settle down. This is the 17th over.
It's gone across.
And
There's another
that's-
chance.
Oh, a very, very difficult chance for the fielder in the deep. It's going to go all the way for 4 runs. Definitely brought out the dive. It looked like he dove over the ball, though, unfortunately. They pick up a much-needed boundary, BC, here. That projected score just starting to drop with the loss of 2 important wickets.
Yeah, just like you called it there. Going against the spin and against the wind on that, and those are high risk shots. I think that deep square leg fielder needs to be slightly in to make those catches happen. Fires it in, wide outside off, no protection on the offside boundary, easy pickings for the batter right there. So you've bowled on the pads, you've been hit on the leg side boundary, then you overcompensate and get hit on the offside square boundary.
This is just poor bowling,
Yes.
though. Short,
Poor execution.
wide.
Yeah, poor execution by the bowler there. You gotta stick to your field. You cannot overcompensate and come wide outside off with no protection on the offside. It's just easy pickings.
And I think that's where the challenge has been for Newfoundland. They've set consistently the field for the odd ball that's not going to be the right one. Very defensive.
Precisely. It's just poor percentage cricket there by Newfoundland. I think I'm interested to see how Newfoundland approaches this chase when it starts. I think 180, 190s, the game is still on. It's gonna get cold. It's not going to be easy to field in the second innings here.
Well, that's a one-handed shot. Trying to go down the ground. Really no timing on that. They'll still pick up 2 runs, though. The running has been exceptional for BC.
Very good. Very great intent. They know where the gaps are. They know they have a plan. They have a clear plan that they're going to run hard, and they've run hard throughout the tournament. You know what? I can see these games become very interesting as the day goes on. I keep saying it's gonna get a little dull. It's gonna get a little dark. It's gonna get a little cold. It's gonna get a little heavier with the breeze. I want to see these. I want to see BC field in this climate. I want to see them field in 9-10 degree temperatures. It'll be interesting.
Well, that's wide. You know what? We're going to hit that twilight zone soon, too. The sun is setting as well.
He's back. Bowled him. And a little bit of a send-off there for the batter as well.
Well, that is the 4th wicket. BC 147 for 4. Wajid Ali picks up yet another wicket. Yudhvir Singh this time, he goes for 12 off 7 deliveries. And you'd feel that BC may be losing their way here from that big total. I mean, they're almost at 150. You'd feel it might be enough against Newfoundland. But I'm sure they'd have wanted to get close to the 180 mark, especially knowing that the first day was a washout. The net run rate may come into play again.
Fudged with a 3 for now. Fires that one in a little short, but it stayed low and he got away with it.
I mean, for me, he's just been a little too quick. He's really not allowed that ball to get its full potential. There isn't enough fight. There isn't enough. That dip is so important, you know, and giving those reps. As soon as you flight, if you've got the revs on it, it will get the dip. It will get the turn.
Yeah, when he slowed it down, he's gotten a wicket. But I think bowling against the wind, and I don't know the team too well, but the fact that he got taken off after giving 9 in his first over, it doesn't give a leggy any confidence to give it some air. He bowled, so if you remember the first over he bowled, he fired the first 3 in, there were 3 dot balls, then he tried to slow it down, he didn't land one, went for 4, and he got taken off. $150 for 4. 19th over starting. It's 150 for 4. So Newfoundland's definitely pulled this back. And Furkan is going to come in to bowl the 19th over from the north end. I'd like to see what field he sets for himself. Right, mid-wicket out, cow corner out, long on out, sweeper and long off. So he's gone 3 on the leg side boundary, 2 on the offside boundary. Hard to hit against the wind into that leg side boundary. Length ball into the pads, the batter's gone to the leg side, a single to mid-wicket. Newfoundland's definitely pulled it back, Manali. What do you think? 151 in 18? They finished strong here, keep it down to 170. I think they'll be happy with that. Big swing straight down the ground. Think he's got enough on it. Yes, he does. It's gone all the way. 6 runs down the ground. It chipped down a little bit. Got it into his arc and gone straight down. Big hit there. Good swing of the bat. Furkan just showing his inexperience a little bit. Bowling length balls at the death. He needs to vary it. You can't just keep banging that length at this stage of the innings to these batters. Tries to go for the full toss, tries to go for the Yorker, comes out as a full toss down the leg. Just enough legs in that ball to go for 4.
Trying to come down the track as well on that occasion, Bharat Arora. I think he was surprised that it was a full toss.
Yeah, he definitely got caught off guard there.
You know what? I'm surprised we don't practice hitting full tosses more often, because they do come up in games, and every time they come up, we don't often see the result that we're expecting to see.
That comes down to the same thing, trying to practice hitting the ball. We don't do it enough. We don't practice. We don't do range hitting sessions that often.
We don't have a range to do that. We're in. We're stuck inside in the nets.
That's very true. But you can still have a goal. You won't know your distances, yes, but you can still work on your technique. You can still work on keeping your head down when you're swinging through the line. You can do a lot of drop ball sessions and just practice that swing indoors. And you'll see a difference when you go outside, because quality is still there if you're practicing your technique to hit the ball. I remember Nicholas Curtin dropped into the nets. He played for my club last year. He's moved on to Masters now. But just before the World Cup, he came in. He set the bowling machine at a Yorker, and the machine, wobbles a little bit.
Well, that's 4 runs. He didn't hit it, or it didn't go where he intended for it to go. But there was no fielder there, and it had enough legs on it to run away. They pick up 4 more, BC, with 1 delivery to come in this over. It's turning out to be a slightly expensive over.
Yeah, poor execution by Furkan. The youngster is just struggling to hit his lengths. He's missed both his Yorkers. He tried to bowl length. The batter chipped down and hit him over the top. But yeah, going back to my point, Nicholas Curtin came in, set the machine on a Yorker length, just 5th stump, and the machine starts wobbling a little bit if you feed the balls quick enough in it, and randomly a ball would come out as a low full toss. And
well, that's a big one.
Clubbed over mid-wicket. That's gone a long, long way. That's ended up on the road.
Well, you just heard it off the bat, the crunch. He timed it and he picked it up beautifully. And that over has been punished. 22 runs coming off of it. And that's exactly what BC would have wanted. It's the 19th over done. BC 172 for 4. That projected score back on track, 180 on the board.
Yep, big over there. He's not happy. He's not happy with himself. He's just tossed something off the ground. I'm looking at the youngster's body language here. He's very upset, and that's good to see in a way, that he's not just going through the motions and saying whatever. That's BC. They hit me. I love the fight. It's tragic that he's gone for plenty today. He's gone for 50 something.
Well, he did ring up his 50 actually.
Yeah, but there's a lot of talent there, and I think that's what the selectors need to look at, and I think that's what this HP games that are coming up. There should be some space for talent, despite the numbers not justifying the talent. But going back to the Nicholas Curtin story, so every now and then the machine would throw out a full toss, really knee high. Sometimes it'd be just a very low full toss, but he told the feeder, keep feeding him. It doesn't matter.
Well, trying to go into the leg side this time, just falls short of the fielder. They'll still pick up 2 runs. This is the last over as well. Just 5 deliveries to come. They want to try and push the score, BC.
Yeah, good strong end to the innings. They're bowling the last over with the wind on the leg side. Leggy bowling. Let's see how they go here. They will try to get to 190, I think, here. Slog sweep, gets enough on it.
Oh dear.
Put down at deep mid wicket, right in front of us.
That should have been taken.
I think he was worried about the boundary. I think he tried to just swat it down in case he's stepping on the line, but he was fine. Again, another thing, you need to practice these. You need to practice these drills to be okay with it.
That's well bowled. He saw the batter coming down. It might be a wide, but he had to fire it in. Just took it away from the batter, especially because he saw him coming at him.
Yeah, at that stage you take the wide. You should be happy with the wide. It's gone down the track again, miss hit it. Bat's slipping out of the hands way too often today. I'm glad he didn't stop to pick it up to complete the single there, like my friend, which I'm not going to name on air.
The 30-run partnership comes up as well with that. 30 off just 13 deliveries. It's a good one towards the end of this innings. Using his feet, coming down the track. He goes straight down. We'll just pick up the single here with 2 deliveries left in this innings. Projected score 181. They'll want to try and push that envelope, try and get a boundary here. Last 2 deliveries really drive it home. And he tries to do just that. He goes up, over, but this might be a wicket. And it is. It's a well-judged catch. Taken right on the rope. Uday Bhagwan Singh, he holds out. 13 for him today off 7 deliveries. But more importantly, Newfoundland pick up the 5th wicket of BC, not allowing for a boundary.
Yeah, Uday Bhagwan Singh sent up the order to do some damage. Yeah, almost got enough on it there. That was a very good, well-judged catch on the boundary there. Safe hands. But yeah, just quickly to wrap up that Curtin story, and he just kept hitting, and he told the fielder, he's like, that doesn't matter because the bowler's not going to nail every Yorker, and I have to expect that low full toss. I got to put it away. So, you know, guys at the top end do practice every shot in the book, and they prepare for situations. Like T20 cricket practice needs to be situational, right? He's expecting to go in the 7th, 8th over, batting till the 18th, 19th over. He's got to expect that bowling.
Well, that's a good run.
Oh,
Good awareness by the non-striker. Good awareness by the non-striker again, and they pick up 2 runs here. Should be 2 byes. There it is, the signal from the umpire. 2 byes to finish this innings. BC finish on 180 for 5. They'll be happy with this effort.
Yeah, I think that's a very good total by BC.
Well, you can't ask for much better from BC. The batting has been stunning. All the way from the top. Ajay Veer Singh bringing up his half century. 63 off 43 to him. Gill 51 off 43. Aurora a handy 21 off 13. Not out as well. And then Yugveer and Uday Bhagwan, they anchored at the end 12 off 7 and 13 off 7. The bowling on the other hand tells a different story. Wickets picked up Wajid Ali 3, the leggy that is. Katan Shah picks up 1 as well, and Deepak Rana part of the wickets column, but just a little too defensive from Newfoundland, starting from the fielding down to the bowling. They've got a chase on their hands and need 181 to win when we come back. We'll be back after a short break. Welcome back to the coverage. Newfoundland taking on BC. BC putting up 180 for 5 in their 20 overs. It's a tall task for Newfoundland. They need 181 to win this contest. Of course, we've got a couple of games going on at the moment here at Batsman Park in Brampton, Ontario. The second game, Quebec taking on Manitoba. Manitoba need 65 runs from 48 balls. They're 70 for 3. And it's going to be a tight contest on that ground. Both sides very evenly matched. Been a decent batting effort from BC. Saw a few half centuries as well in that lineup. They've got some strength in that batting lineup. Ajay Veer Singh, 63 off 43. Mansab Gill, 51 off 43. And it looks like Manitoba are starting to fall apart again. They lost their game against PEI earlier. They've just lost yet another wicket, this time Quebec giving them a good run for their money. The wind is picking up as well as it gets colder. The sun is setting, getting into that twilight condition. We start with the first delivery. It's going to be a dot ball. The two batters out in the middle for Newfoundland, Mohammad Rafid and Ranveer Singh Rana. Yuvraj Hundal, he starts the attack with the ball. Oh, that's a quick one. Some good pace on that. Yuvraj Hundal, one of the young'uns. He beats Mohammad Rafid for pace. Not easy conditions to play. It's cold, it's windy, the sun is setting as well. And he's bowled. That peg is bent down the middle stump. And again, completely beaten for pace. Yuvraj Hundal, he's got some zip to his bowling. And Mohammad Rafid had a couple of swing and a misses, but this is it. It's curtains for him. Newfoundland, they lose their first wicket, yet to get any runs on the board. An excellent start by the BC bowlers. Well, this isn't the start that they would have hoped for, Newfoundland. Aryan Folky, the new batter out in the middle. Well, they've yet to find a run. Newfoundland just lost a wicket as well. And Aryan, he's got 2 deliveries still to face from a very quick Yuvraj Hundal. Just straying down that leg stump line, and it's helped along the way. Almost a run out as well. Sent back by Ranveer Singh. Correction by Aryan. As he gets off the mark, Ranveer Singh now on strike. Uday Bhagwan Singh now opening the bowling on the other end. This is a good pace attack from both sides. A lot of pressure on Newfoundland by BC. There's a strong side, BC, one of the top teams in this national championship. An experienced side. Well, that's another one. Similar fashion. Another one with the stumps knocked down. That's 2-2 for Newfoundland. Uday Bhagwan Singh joins the action with Yuvraj Hundal as he picks up his first wicket. Ranveer Singh Rana out. And both openers have now gone for ducks. Not the start that Newfoundland would have wanted. The new batter out in the middle, Mac.
Both overs, 1 run, 1 wicket so far.
Not the start Newfoundland would have wanted whatsoever. 2 for 2, 1 delivery to come in this over. And it's going to be a dot ball. 2 for 2 at the end of 2.
The pattern to this could be done in 10 overs.
There's so much action happening at Batsman Park. There are 2 soccer games going on beside us. They look like friendly games. They don't look like league games. And then on the other side, we have a proper soccer game. Those look like youth. Yes, definitely. Youth soccer on the other side. Got a basketball court. Some kids getting their shots in for the day. Some parents.
Splash pad.
Some parents on the swing. Forget the kids. It's the parents on the swings. Not surprised to see no one in the splash pad though.
Almost. Oh, poor throw there. Could have been a run out.
And back to the action.
Close finish on the other game. 42 needed in 35. Manitoba's 5 down. Kamaljot on 36.
It's going to be really interesting to see if Manitoba can hold a nerve this time around. And you'd expect the bowling to be better.
Yeah, and it'll be also interesting to see how they respond after this game.
Manitoba currently second from the bottom. Quebec just above them in Group A. Well, good job, Ontario. Coach right here in the house. They were sitting quite low on that table earlier on, and that net run rate now brings them in spot number 2. Who would have thought PEI was going to be at the top of that table?
3 days ago. That is very good to see, to be honest. To see PEI at top of the table. You know what though? PEI is the ideal place to play cricket. It is flat, there are no trees, it's all farmland. You can make 50 fields over there.
Prince Edward Island.
Yeah, it is absolutely flat. And you can make as many cricket fields as you want.
You just have to weather the storm with the hurricanes that might end up
Yeah.
passing through.
It's pretty bad weather over here too, so. we've
We just don't have the aftermath of the hurricanes.
We've been having hurricane-like winds. Hey, if we can play in this, we can play in that. Group B, Alberta on top, 2 wins and a rain out, and BC trying to win and go 3 out of 3 and top the table in Group B right now.
Down the ground, looking to go down the ground. They pick up a single here. Well, the required rate now sits at just over 10 runs and over. They're going at under 2 runs and over. Early days still for Newfoundland, but for them that wickets column is the cause for concern. 2 wickets down already, both openers back in the dugout. It gives you very little confidence coming into bat knowing that both openers have gone for a duck.
Yeah. Both fast bowlers steaming in, hitting their straps. Left armour on one end, right armour on the other end. Uday Bhagwan has about 4 or 5 Canada caps as well, so an experienced pair here. I'll tell you what, the other game is going right down to the wire.
Well, the singles aren't going to do it. It will help to get their eye in for the 2 batters, but at some point the acceleration's going to have to get turned on.
Yeah, again, it's one of those where they need to have some purpose behind this inning. They need to set a total for themselves. Not necessarily 180, but give yourself a target. Try to go at a certain run rate and see how far you go. Small targets, 3 over targets, 2 over targets. Just see where it takes you.
Was 6 for 2 at the end of 3.
.32 of 28 in the other game required. Pace to no Punjabi. I could hear what the fielder was saying. Didn't need to check the score.
You know, I do understand Punjabi. I grew up
Not
with
numbers,
Punjabi.
Not numbers. Can't tell numbers.
Yes, I can.
Really?
Yes. I
Okay.
grew up with Punjabi neighbors in Kenya.
But you can't pronounce names.
Yeah, the pronunciation is a bit... They used to call me Bandro.
Oh, really?
Yes, so that summarizes my childhood, as you can imagine. I had 3 Punjabi neighbors where we lived in Kenya growing up.
That is so interesting. In Kenya. We're talking about a Gujarati girl having 3 Punjabi neighbors in Kenya.
You know, this is what people don't understand about Kenya. It is such a multicultural country.
Yeah.
You know, and it's the hub of Africa as well, central.
Yes, and one player, he's played for Kenya under 19 as well. Kavi, I can't remember which club he played for. He came over here, played a season for my club, wicketkeeper batsman, good player, and he, you know, I spent a lot of time with him that summer, and he was telling me exactly that. You'd be surprised how many nationalities live in Kenya, and it's just a melting pot of culture.
Very diverse,
Yeah.
extremely diverse. And hey, I mean, come on, even the Queen liked Kenya.
Good food.
Great
I
food.
don't mind Kenyan food.
Great
It's
food.
tragic we don't have enough Kenyan restaurants over here.
I mean, let's face it, between the perfect weather, excellent food, wonderful game, and by game I mean safaris,
Mhm.
there's not much wrong in Kenya.
Yeah. Hit high on the bat, almost carried to point over there. Uday Bhagwan generating some good pace here on a cold day, chasing 180. You know what? I love the professionalism. He is running in hard. He does not care how cold it is or how far ahead of the game they are.
Yeah, both openers have been impressive, actually. Good zip on the ball
Yeah.
from both of them. Calls for catch it. 1 bounce to the fielder at mid-on.
Uday
It's going to be
Bhagwan.
a single to end the over. 7 for 2. Correction, 8 for 2 at the end of 4.
Uday Bhagwan's got excellent mechanics. You know, bowling off a braced front leg, good approach, runs in hard. Just like to see that run up get a bit longer. I feel he could carry a bit more momentum into the crease. But very impressive.
A lot of noise coming in from that ground behind us. Coming down to the wire, Quebec, Manitoba. 27 needed from 25 on that ground.
There's a partnership going over there. Kamaljot is on 48 of 47. So it's going right down to the wire. Manitoba's made a comeback here. There's a player called Gary on the other team, and they keep screaming Gary, and it makes me want to turn back, and then I realize it's not me.
What's your calling? Just haven't been able to hit the gaps. They haven't been able to find the timing off the bat. Newfoundland, they've been rushed for pace as well.
Exactly. I was thinking the exact same thing. I think they're just being rushed for pace. I think it's just a bit too quick for them. Yuvraj Handal has a run up twice the size of Uday Bhagwan, I think. He's steaming in, left arm over. Hit straight to mid off. Again, no timing there. He has pulled out of that one. Checking his footmarks. I think the spike got stuck there. Yeah, he's signaling to his teammates that he landed awkwardly. I think his heel spike got stuck into the turf.
Tough on the body, pace bowling. Takes a lot out of you.
It does, and you need to be very disciplined to have a long career as a fast bowler. Just anytime fast bowlers' fitness comes into play, I go back to Butter. He's 35 and he runs in hard. He does not bowl like a 35-year-old. He just takes such good care of his fitness. Having those stress fracture injuries early in your career just teaches you how to be a professional athlete.
Well, this is where that strength and conditioning is so important. Have to start focusing on that at an early age.
Slower ball, he rolled his fingers on that one and the batter didn't pick it. Tried to sweep it across the line, but that was a very good change of delivery from
Well, he's either
Yuvraj.
been too early or he's been too late. Just not picking the bowling. And Aryan Falk, you'd have to think something's got to give for Aryan Falky. 4 runs off 16 deliveries for him now, and it's been quite a few play and a miss. Now it's 3 dot deliveries from him. He gets a lot of that, and it does go to the boundary. 4 runs. Gets it over point, and he got a good chunk of that as well.
Width on offer. Yuvraj is straying in his line a little bit and the batter taking full advantage of it, going for the horizontal bat just behind square.
That releases some pressure.
Third man drops back, goes a little wider. I think it's Ajavir Hundal. Long off out and third man out. Left armer bowling over the wicket.
Oh, some confusion out in the middle. Oh, needed that direct hit. Needed that direct hit. The batter was halfway down the track. He would have been gone by a long shot. Confusion between the 2 batters in the middle.
Yeah, there's no way the keeper was making it, so full marks to the fielder for having a shy.
Well, the end of the 5th now. 13 for 2 Newfoundland.
Manitoba needs 21 of 18 on the other field over here. Kamaljot batting on 50. So they've pulled it back here.
Very
But-
similar situation earlier for them, though, and this is kind of where they started to lose it.
Right. Change in bowling.
Bowler still asking the umpire, how is that? Umpire says not out.
Umpire says same as it was 2 seconds ago.
Noah Singh comes into the attack. Some good pace all around for Team BC here.
Yeah, playing with 4 fast bowlers. Nawab bowls a heavy ball. He's always bowls short of a length, hard to hit, hits the bat hard. It's a bit quicker than you expected.
beaten again for pace. There's a big stride in there. They just can't connect with the ball, though. Just looking at the wicket there, Mac trying to figure out how to get that ball onto the bat.
11 in 2 overs on the other ground right now. So Manitoba inching closer to their first win of the tournament.
Down the ground. It'll be a single. Those strike rates, though, for the two batters, they need some help. Mac going at a strike rate of 36. Aryan Falke going at 44. That required rate now 12 runs and over.
Yeah, and the pace and the heavy lengths are just a bit too much for Newfoundland right now.
It's starting to get a bit chilly as well. I shouldn't say it's starting to, it's getting chillier.
Again, beaten outside off, trying to go with an angled bat, trying to get the ball to cover point area. It was just too close for that shot. She was better off going with a straighter bat, trying to hit mid-off covers. Another fast bowler warming up at mid-wicket. BC has brought their full battery of fast bowlers here today.
Trying to pull it high up on the bat. Again, late on that shot, allowing that ball to cramp him. Cramped for room, can't free his arms. It lands just safely. And that's the end of the 6th over. 14 for 2, Newfoundland.
Manitoba at 10 off 11 now. Just hanging in there in that game. Just trying to take you to the last over, which is not a bad strategy. I think they've learned from their mistakes here. You don't have to watch it on the app.
Percentages.
Hit down the ground for one. Again, Newfoundland just going through the motions here. No, innings needs an impetus here. Someone needs to put one ball out of the park here, just to get them going. Beaten for pace yet again.
Well, you talk about putting one out of the park. At the moment, they're struggling getting ball or getting bat on ball. They just haven't been able to get up to the pace.
Yeah. Mid pitch conference between the two batters. Just a word. What do you think they're talking about?
I think
Dinner plans?
I'm really hoping that we can go down to him and say, you know what, take your time. Or hold it together. But the disappointing part for me is, yes, you're being beaten for pace, but you've also not done anything to try and change the bowler's length.
Yeah, or use the pace. They've just been trying to go right back at it. If you're struggling to time the pace, get innovative. Try to use the pace. Go behind the wicket. There's third man's in the circle. And Manitoba has hit a boundary and come a lot closer. That's how you use the pace of the ball. Top edge it. It's better than towing it.
Well, it does bring a boundary, a much needed boundary. 4 runs. Not a convincing shot, but hey, on the scoreboard, it is still 4 runs. Aryan picking up the boundary there. Newfoundland, they moved to 19. Still a long way away from that target, though.
Manitoba needs just 2 more to get on the points table here. And they get them. So, another upset. Quebec has dropped points now.
And that's
And
gone.
a wicket.
That's a thick edge to the wicketkeeper. Beaten for pace again, and Udaybir Singh Walia, he gets a wicket to himself. And you could just sense that the pressure was building. He needed to get some bat on ball. Unfortunately, that edge was not enough. Aryan Falke out for just 12 runs of 24 deliveries. Newfoundland 19 for 3.
Yeah, the wicket was coming. It was just the batsman was feeling really out of his depth there. Was trying too many things instead of keeping it simple and just trying to middle the ball into the gaps, going across the line one too many times.
Deepak Rana joins the middle. And the swing and the miss continues. 7 overs gone. Newfoundland 19 for 3.
This game's going nowhere. This game's going absolutely nowhere right now. And just top of the table team versus last place team. You expect that, but you just want to see a fight. And I just don't see any fight in Newfoundland right now.
Well, the manager of BC walking around the comms tent, he looks ecstatic. Big smile. Cheeked. That, you know what? He's got a smile from ear to ear. He should be happy. His team's doing well.
Yes, most of the teams doing well, but I just noticed here this is another surprise in this tournament. Manitoba beating Quebec. Definitely, there's some teams not going to be happy with this surprise. Let's see how Ontario stand and continue in this tournament.
Well, we've got Ontario's coach right here. How does Ontario feel about that?
Hey, look at the net run rate. That's what we were working on. That is exactly why we decided to throw the hammer down this afternoon.
Was necessary.
Yeah, we wanted to cover for upsets, which is why we went in really hard. We didn't need to go in with that approach. We could have taken it cautious, but the plan was to make sure that net run rate is secure, and if we win tomorrow, we are fine. Nothing can get in the way.
Well, the coaching planning is on, and I can see the wheels turning in your head
Yeah,
as you prepare for the game tomorrow.
Yeah, just looking at the permutations right now, because Ontario plays Manitoba and Quebec plays PEI, and everyone is on 3-5. So Quebec wins. There could be 3 teams tied on 5 points, with net run rate playing a big part. So this is the result that we wanted, and things are starting to fall in place. We just got to take care of business on our end now.
Well, speaking of net run rates, BC will want to finish this in true fashion. The first day was a washout for all the teams.
Except Manitoba and BC. They weren't playing on day 1.
That is an interesting looking shot. Again, rushed onto the bat.
That came off the handle of the bat.
Very evasive.
It's just pace battery both ends, hitting the hard lengths, and just making Newfoundland very uncomfortable here. I tell you what, that Group A is wide open because of these upsets.
Well, he gets a good amount of bat on that, but goes absolutely nowhere. required run rate now over 13 and over. Well, early to call non-strikers. Mac, nice and loud, calling Deepak Rana for that quick single. So the end of the 8th over, 23 for 3.
So are you still planning to play any more cricket, Manali?
Well, I haven't played a game in about 2 years.
Why is that?
Well, the last game I played 2 years ago, while I was on the field for 20 overs, I really felt myself questioning, what am I doing here? Standing around. I enjoyed the bowling part, I enjoyed the batting part, but the fielding, just standing there, nothing coming, nothing happening, that...
Yeah, it's a big issue in women's cricket right now, right? It's I think the grounds women's cricket is played on in the country are very slow. It doesn't help. It doesn't help the girls get technically better or learn from it.
Well, I mean, that game was enough to tell me I definitely moved on from my playing days. Calls for catch it. It's going to land right in the middle. Pick up another single. You know what, though? I don't miss it. I really did think I would miss playing. But getting in the nets for an odd knock is good enough.
It feeds the hunger.
Exactly. But there's still a lot of cricket. I mean, I'm around cricket more than I've probably ever been before. Top edge. Calls for catch it. Again, one bounce to the fielder. Between all the courses and the coaching and the commentary, I think there's plenty of cricket.
Yeah.
I think I would have missed playing had I not been doing all of that.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're a very busy person, and I think it just doesn't give you the time to miss it. And I feel the same way right now. I feel like if I hang up my boots, will I miss it?
That's gone straight up in the air. The sun is in a difficult position here, but the catch is taken. An easy looking catch in the end, but it's not easy conditions to take it. The wind is there, went high up in the air, the sun is setting as well.
That's very well judged. Just looking into the sun and the wind.
Newfoundland, they lose their fourth, 26 for 4. Mac, he's gone for 8 off 16. So you were saying hanging up your boots?
It's gonna happen someday.
See, this is, and I think this is where I think things worked out for the better for me personally. I think transitioning at the right time was very important. And oftentimes we've seen some of the senior players, they just don't transition at the right time. And then they almost have a loss of identity because they're not a player anymore. They haven't prepared for the next step in their life.
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think transitioning is very important. It doesn't help that there's a lot of cricket in Ontario. And when I say a lot, it's people are dumbfounded when they find out how much cricket you can play in Ontario. I have friends who at our age are playing 60 games in a summer. 60 games, and that's a lot of cricket. And it's in all different tiers, all different levels of crickets available, right? So there's never any, which is why I was saying earlier, you don't really need to quit playing. You can just keep dropping down tiers and just keep playing and keep plugging away.
And you know, on that note of the different tiers, we have a lot of different tiers, multiple leagues as well. My concern though, and my biggest concern, is the fact that the development levels of cricket typically end up with the most difficult times to play on those grounds and the worst conditions to play on. So at that point, we need to start looking and prioritizing that the juniors get the better grounds. They get the better time slots. Because let's face it, they are the future.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think juniors need to be playing on better grounds, and but it's a capitalist country and things happen. Facilities are given where the money is given, right? But something needs to change. I think one of the bigger problems is after senior season. Brampton starts cricket in April, so whereas juniors start when the school's out in mid-June. So by the time the juniors are coming out, their schedules are being finalized. Senior season is senior cricketers are in mid-season form, and they're playing everywhere. They have all the grounds have been scheduled already, and the juniors are just picking up the crumbs of whatever's
Exactly.
not been scheduled yet, right? So maybe reserving some days for it, and everyone's guilty of it. I think every league in the country works that way, where junior cricket gets scheduled later, and they go, oh well, you can play on small grounds. But City of Brampton has done something wonderful. They have developed junior-only fields. They have retrofitted some baseball diamonds, and there were 40-yard boundaries, which is plenty for under 12s and under 14s, and you cannot play senior cricket there. And they're very well maintained. Unfortunately, they're astroturfs, but it's a step in the right direction.
And you know what? I was just about to say that at some point, I think the municipalities need to put the onus on the leagues and say, listen, we will back you if you can guarantee that your youth are going to get prioritized, your development programs are going to get prioritized. Because it's only a simple ask, really.
Yeah.
And we're not talking jeopardizing the highest level. We're just saying that some of the lower tiers giving preferential treatment over development programs is not going in the right direction.
Yeah, it's very corporately driven right now. But I think City of Brampton's doing a fantastic job. The innovation to retrofit those baseball diamonds was very outside of the box thinking, and it's really well done. These grounds have lights on them because the baseball diamonds had lights on them. So have you seen them? Have you checked some of those out?
No, I
Free time,
haven't.
have a go. I can send you some addresses. They're really well maintained fields, and it's junior cricket only. The outfields are not as good yet, but I think we'll get there because they're so small. They're so easy to maintain.
Yeah.
It doesn't take long to just mow it down. It's half hour and you're done. So it might happen. I think we're at drinks break here, are we?
Yeah, Newfoundland 27 for 4 at the end of 10. We're going to take a quick drinks break as well. back into the action. Newfoundland ambling along here. 27 off 4. 27 for 4, correction, off 10. That required run rate now 15.5. It's just no real intent from the batters. No intent whatsoever to be trying to chase this total down. And again, they've struggled with the pace. They just haven't been able to keep up with the pace. They've been beaten for it. Udebir Singh Walia comes in for his third over. He's picked up 2 wickets. Again, the dot balls just continuing, and we just had that conversation about the net run rate being so important. Manitoba having just beaten Quebec, they now move to second place on that group. Ontario dropping to third. Thick outside edge. Again, just a single. Katan Shah 1 off 9. Deepak Rana 5 off 11. Those dot balls. They tell the story for Newfoundland's batting. They've struggled. Struggled against the pace of the BC bowlers. More experienced side, BC. That's a good looking shot. Good looking cover drive. Doesn't get more than a single, but he gets in a good position to play that. $29 for 4 at the end of 11. Well, there's some discussion between the umpires here. I'm not quite sure what the discussion is about. The keeper just getting his helmet on, assuming that this is going to be a spinner coming on. Actually, no, it looks like they're going to have an additional player under the bat. Not sure what the discussion is about, but it looks like the keeper's going to come up. It is going to be a spinner into the attack. The first of any spin attack that we've seen so far. Again, more discussion. all sorts of discussions out there, and not quite sure what it's about. Potentially an injured Uday Birwalia not allowed to get off the field. Again, we don't quite have confirmation on that yet. We have a player on the ground, just being told to stand up. Well, it looks like it's all sorted and we're back into the action. Top edge lands safely. Sukhjinder Singh. Tall bowler. Left arm orthodox. Getting just some turnover there as well, taking it away from the batter. Right-handed batter. And this is really disappointing batting from Newfoundland. Just unconvincing. No intent whatsoever to try and chase this total. No intent whatsoever to bring in that aggression. And this is where the experience differs in the two sides. BC, a very experienced side. Newfoundland, a newer side. Don't quite have the same level of cricket. Because the conditions are different as well. Turf wickets not readily available. It's the end of the 12th over. 32 for 4.